tough questions to you now, though, Christian. So now you're on the hot seat, and you have to remember that the Nuggets fans watching you. So this is going to get really, really hot. But Zion or Jokic? First off, which one is more fun to watch?
Again, this is like asking me Denver or New Orleans. I love them both.
Like, yeah, but we're asking you to take
you out of this show.
I'm pretty sure Dev's in the comments. We can get it back.
Everything's different.
You know what? I'm gonna Dev. Let me get him.
What do you like better, Denver or other Denver?
Right now, I probably enjoy watching Zion more, but that's just because of the novelty of it. Like, I just started watching him. Like, I watch Jokic for 3 seasons every game. Yeah, but I love watching Jokic. Like, they're both in my probably like top 3. I enjoy watching them.
I think Zion is maybe the most fun player to watch in the NBA right now. And you're right about the novelty. Like, we'll see what happens maybe a little bit down the road. But right now, like you said, it was 19 games. It felt like 50 because the highlights were just – there were so many that it was like crazy.
Yeah. I think the list is Zion 1, Michael Porter Jr. 2. And I obviously Porter isn't 2, but for this, like, it's the same reason. You don't know what either of them are going to do anytime they get out on the court, you know? Like, it's so unpredictable. They have such a little sample size. You just don't know what you're getting.
I love this question because it's hilarious to me that both of these guys are good at the same sport.
They share 0 traits.
And if they played together, they'd win like 5 championships.
5.
It would honestly be the coolest partnering ever. I mean, I don't know. Bol Jokic, if it ever worked out, would also be pretty dope. but a Zion Jokic one would be incredible. All right, what about building a team around? Forget contracts for a moment because I know that always muddies it. But if you had a player for the next 10 years, which one would you take?
Probably Jokic, just because of I don't know. I got to see about the durability with Zion. I mean, there's never been a guy with that build before. I mean, the Pelicans are like taking a ton of steps to like make his body withstand the grind of an 82 game season. But like, I just know Jokic is going to give you 75 games every year.
Right.
Yeah, it's the right answer.
Do you think if you said like what is the bigger risk? Zion's health or Jokic's conditioning?
Ooh, or Adam's internet, which is the least impressive?
No, you're good.
Probably Harrison's internet. Oh man, probably Zion's health.
Yeah, man, I think that's an easy one.
Okay,
because one of them is not a real issue.
I mean, he like had a serious knee injury before he'd even played an NBA game. So I don't know.
All right, let's move it on over then. Because me and Christian text, a fair amount. I know that you've really
weird flex.
One of the, I don't know if you guys heard this, but text him from time to time. One of the things I know is that Brandon Ingram, you were, didn't really have a strong take about him, and now you seem to really liked him. What is it about his game that sort of changed your mind this year, or at least got you fired up about his potential?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is like he completely changed his shot profile, which is you just like don't really see that from a guy like year 3 to year 4. I mean, he's taking like 2 threes a game when he's in LA. He took like 6.5, making them at a high rate. I think too, like just being around him, he is impressive as a guy. I think he's a really hard worker. I think like the only things he cares about is basketball. I think that's like first, second, and third to him. Even during like tough moments, I think he's really supportive of teammates. He's just like a guy I would want to have on my team.
What do you have?
I feel like in another universe, Brandon Ingram was going to be on the Nuggets. He seems like a Nugget. Hardworking, super quiet, low key, plays hard, loves basketball, lives in the gym.
Super low key, man. I think he loves New Orleans. Like he is. I think he's very happy going from LA to here.
Well, maybe he will be a Nugget. Maybe he will be part of the Murray, Harris, Drew, Ingram trade that's going to happen this summer. I mean, it's at least a possibility. All right. So what about – I guess you haven't gotten to see a lot of Michael Porter. Nobody has. But what if the little bit you would see, I guess I put you on the spot again. Would you rather have Michael Porter Jr. or Brandon Ingram to build around?
Oh, I was kind of a Michael Porter fiend this year. Like whenever I had an off night and I knew Porter was playing, I was like, I got to watch that.
Everyone was except for Michael Malone.
Yeah. We were all trying to. Everyone was trying to.
Oh, man. I mean, I don't know. I feel like the odds that Porter ever has as good of an offensive season as the one Ingram just had, like, I guess they're okay, but not great. I mean, what Ingram did was like really impressive. Like, I don't know if Michael Porter Jr. ever makes an All-Star game. I think he's a stud, but I would probably say Ingram right now.
Ingram, 24 points last year, 46% from the field, 39% from three.
39% from three. Holy crap.
And Christian, what can you tell us about, just like anecdotally, how conducive that was to winning basketball? This was a team that didn't win a lot, but that's not necessarily his fault. You just mentioned he changed his shot profile. So did you like what you saw from him as a five-man team player?
Yeah, like going into the season, I thought like, oh, the Pelicans are not going to be a good three-point shooting team. I don't even think the Pelicans thought they were going to be a good three-point shooting team. And they were, I think, like fifth in attempts and fifth in three-point percentage or something like that. So, I think a lot of that was Ingram just nailing threes, and Lonzo Ball was a part of that too. I will say, I don't think Ingram was quite as good as like the numbers suggest if you're just like reading off the stat sheet. I think he has a long way to go on defense. The other thing too that I think was frustrated the Pelicans at times, he can get like a little ball stoppy. Like the Pelicans want to just keep the ball moving, like ping it side to side, and like sometimes the ball sticks a little bit. And like I think he can pass. Like I think you could maybe work with him to like beat that out of his game a little bit more. But like there are still some times when I'm like, man, just keep it moving right there.
It seems like his instincts are still to take a tough contested shot at times.
He doesn't. He also doesn't seem like he has much killer instinct. Do you get that from him? That was always my complaint of Anthony Davis.
You know what? We've had enough of D-line.
No killer instinct was that.
Is he not enough of an alpha? Would you say? Is that
It's true. Listen, he's just such a quiet guy. Like he's just. I guess he could be the silent assassin. But
I didn't know you were an alpha beta guy. Which one am I?
See, Charlie.
We've been watching too much 2009 basketball lately. It's getting D-line's head.
You know what's funny?
We're big on grinders.
We can pull on that for a bit because we just watched game one of the. We just tortured ourselves by watching maybe the most painful game in Nuggets history. We just watched it yesterday, but that era, it does make a little bit more sense to talk about alphas because there is the all right, give it to this guy, and he needs to shoot it over four guys because Kenyon Martin can't make anything.
Because you're playing with Anthony Carter and Dante Jones.
Somebody's downright hilarious.
So wait, clearly I'm missing it. So this is something you guys joke about, the idea of having a killer instinct on the court?
I mean, as Jokic people, it's a little like
I think it's just that the way it's used or whatever. Like these people,
but that's always been his. That's been his shortcoming.
What's that? Eric, are you cutting out on us?
That's probably Jokic's shortcoming.
He did. He cursed himself. Look what happened with Eric. He cursed himself by making it on my internet. Now where is he? He's in purgatory.
Wait, hold on. I feel like I watched a cut up from you guys today, DNBR on social media, of all of Jokic's game winners in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what Eric's talking about.
Yeah,
he's him permanently.
Disregard everything he's said.
Replace him with a
2 minutes.
Yeah, just disregard him. T-line is canceled. Put that comment up on the.
Are the Pelicans going to max Ingram this summer?
Yes. Yeah.
Ooh, man.
What's their dream? What's their dream edition?
I mean, they have Zion and Ingram, and they have balls like I guess like the third building block, and it's just figure out how to build around that.
Let's go to that though. So the last sort of comparison you would look at there is Jamal Murray and Lonzo Ball, two rivals. I don't even know if they're rivals anymore. Of course, Murray just got the max contract. But if we just threw that out, I mean, what is your take on Lonzo at the moment and being around him for a year now? What do you think?
Lonzo had a really interesting season. Like I love Lonzo coming out of the draft. I was always a fan of his. I was like about to give up on him, as Adam knows, probably like a third of the way through the season. I mean, when a guy gets into his third year and he's like not showing anything, I think it's fair to like kind of ask at that point, like, all right, I kind of got to see something now. And he was terrible. Like he was really bad at the beginning of the year. I think part of that was like, he'll say that he physically didn't feel right. Whether he just got some confidence, whether he started feeling physically better, his ankle or whatever, he really turned it around like halfway through the season. Even before Zion came back, he started playing a lot better. And I mean, he got benched there for a while. Like he was coming off the bench. Drew Holiday was forced to play point guard. And he regained that spot. And I think he clearly showed when Zion comes back, like, yeah, this is a guy, worth keeping around for a long term.
What do the guys think of him? I mean, do you get a sense for, is he a guy? Because a lot of people have said when he's on the court, he makes things easy for his teammates. Do other guys sort of share that sentiment? Do you hear that from other players?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. Like, what other guy in the league? Maybe Jokic can throw that 3/4 alley-oop to Zion. Like, those are probably the only two guys in the league. Like, he just makes passes, especially in transition, that like nobody else can make. And he's like one of the best transition passers I've ever seen.
Follow-up question: how's LeVar?
He's not around, man. Like Lonzo is kind of just
to
like
New Orleans, man.
Is that a Lonzo thing, Christian? Did Lonzo push him out?
I mean, Lonzo has definitely been like, I'm gonna be my own guy. I mean, he wears Kobe's on the court. He doesn't wear a big baller shoes.
Lonzo got to a space where he just does not need LeVar at all. Like
that space was when he got drafted. Like he didn't ever need LeVar.
I'm still the biggest Lonzo believer. I'm telling you right now, the guy is going to be incredible.
Well, it's funny, man. It's funny. I was thinking about this today. Like, I'm a big Lonzo guy as well from the draft. Would you rather have Lonzo or Jamal Murray in Denver? And I think it's a much closer argument than I thought. Before I thought about this topic.
I mean, I didn't see Lonzo becoming a better 3-point shooter than Jamal Murray this year.
Yeah. Well,
how crazy
that's a big reason for the argument, yeah.
How crazy is this? I mean, you just wouldn't think. First of all, I think Jamal Murray
is the shooting coach in New Orleans. Who is the shooting coach in New Orleans? You got Lonzo and Brandon Ingram.
So the guy they give the credit to is Fred Vinson. Fred Vinson is a guy who works closely with them. Apparently a freaking miracle worker with what Ingram and Lonzo did this year. Like, I wonder what I could shoot in the NBA working a season with Fred Vinson.
Probably not very.
Probably poor. Very poor.
I was gonna say like 30. I was gonna say like 29 or 30, but
okay. So now I got to ask you.
I have a question. If I may. Christian, how is your Spikeball game these days?
Adam, are you okay, man? I like punted you into the sun in a game of Spikeball this summer.
You did?
You don't remember?
Adam has no memory. Adam doesn't
remember this at all.
He came up with explainers.
So here's what happens is Adam, we all went to hang out at the park, as you can do in Denver. It's a very athletically based city.
Back in the day, you could.
Back in the day.
That's
so
how winners think.
Yeah, we all went and we hung out at Cheeseman Park.
That's a real alpha mentality, is what it is.
Yeah, that's a killer instinct.
And then the Spikeball court came out, the Spikeball game, and then Adam started talking so much smack to both me and Christian about how he was going to destroy us. We didn't stand a chance, and we beat the pants off of him.
Adam was 2 beers deep. All right, we got to give him a pass. All right,
2 beers deep is a lot for me. So that's a legitimate excuse you just handed me. So thank you.
Does that not improve your game? 2 beers deep.
Apparently, it's not a PED for Adam.
But you know how, like in beer pong, if you're a couple beers deep, you suddenly
but
I know how in beer pong you think you are better.
It changes when you turn 30. When you turn 30, each beer just makes you worse again.
Do you guys remember? JJ Redick was like around Duke was known for being just like unbeatable in beer pong.
JJ Redick is so freaking annoying, man.
God, he has a tough hang, and I've never met him. Hey,
Wow.
someone wrote Jokic would crush at Spikeball, and yes, that's a great take. Jokic, there's like 3 sports in the world he would be like number 1 in if he picked it up tomorrow. Spikeball's one of them. I feel like
there's a lot of sports I think he would be.
Water polo.
He might be the world darts champion in like a heartbeat.
It's kind of funny that it's actually kind of tragic that he's really wants to be good at the thing that you need to be like 4'11" for tracing. It's like the one thing he could never be great at.
He just has to settle for 8th best basketball player alive. Like
I've always said this. Like Jokic is imprisoned by his basketball talent. It's like the last thing on earth he wants to do.
He could be like the most interesting man in the world and just super talented at literally everything, but he's just tied down by the NBA.
Just got to go play basketball.
Any video of him in the buggy, I have to watch. I have to watch any video of him in the buggy that crosses my timeline. It's too good.
He gets increasingly too big for the buggy as life goes on, and it's my favorite ratio.
We have to move on to the next segment because we got my guy Peter who's waiting in the wings. We got Chill Ducey also waiting in the wings. We're gonna bring them on in a second, but I can't let you off the hot seat. Full squad. Who has a more promising rebuild. And I know the Nuggets are ahead of the rebuild, but if you just rewind, who's more promising, the Nuggets or the Pelicans?
Probably Pelicans. Just because, I mean, they already have like 2 young all-stars who are going to be here for like the next 5, 6, 7 years. They also have a really interesting piece in Drew Holiday. I mean, they got Ball. I would say the Pels probably. Yeah.
What do you think, Harrison?
I'd say the Nuggets just because I've still got a lot of questions about Zion's long-term health. So I'd probably give the Nuggets an edge there. But if we're not talking health, I think the Pelicans have a decent argument. I'd say Nuggets, though.
What about you, Vote?
I mean, I think, the Ingram MPJ thing is like Ingram's a much better player right now, will be for years to come. But I think MPJ has a higher ceiling. And like what he would take Denver to, in my opinion, is the finals if he reaches that. So with Jokic being the higher floor superstar, I like Denver.
The other thing, how much the Pels still have a ton of draft capital, right?
Yeah, Nemanja
they're not even.
Did you just read that? Did you just read that comment?
Great comment, Eric. Where'd you see that?
Boot him again. Let's just bully Eric.
You know what, Eric? Jeez, I can't believe this, man.
We don't need you till we draw.
They do. The Pelicans do have ammunition.
All right, guys, we got to bring on. All right, Eric, you can come back in. This is. I hope I don't have to kick you out again. This is really getting out of hand.
You never had
to. My main guy, Peter. Peter, you're on.
Peter's back. He's free.
A little bit longer than you did last time.
What's
yeah,
up?
maybe.
Have you just been waiting there the whole time?
The whole time.
For like
it's
48
been a
hours?
long week. 4 days. I don't know how long it's actually been, but
He's been waiting in the queue for 4 days.
I got like MPJ minutes last time, so I could get some TC minutes this time.
Who's the Michael Malone here?
That's so good. That's Adam. That's
Just
Adam.
like dive on the floor for a loose ball or something.
All right, so Peter, I'll ask you the exact same question: Pelicans or Nuggets? Who has a more promising sort of foundation in place?
Oh man, I think.
Don't forget about the draft capital.
How could I? I really want to say the Nuggets, but the problem is I'm a Nuggets fan, so it's probably the Pelicans.
Oh, you're one of those. That's how I am too. I'm like, it's not going to happen because I want it to.
Yeah, like
I
if
don't
I
think
like it,
it's
it must
far
not
off.
be good.
They just seem to have the type of players that win championships, but maybe Jokic will be that type of player someday.
Yeah.
Can I
Jokic is that type of player.
Yeah,
Who
I'm
knows
just
about Jamal
asking.
Murray?
Can I strong counter with the Nuggets or the Pelicans lose a lot of games and the Nuggets win a lot of games?
That's a great point.
One team's considerably better
Underrated
already
point.
right now.
Yeah.
Sure.